16 at the half, and they secure the number 3 seed by beating William & Mary. And it was the cousins from Columbus, Ohio, A.J. Davis and Devon Moore, that got the job done.
They kept it all in the family, I tell you, Al. But A.J. Davis, lately, he's been on an absolute tear. He poured in 36 points in that game, and he was in the doghouse early in the year. Wasn't logging a lot of minutes. The explosiveness was always there until he came along mentally. Matt Brady kept him on the bench, but as of late, he's been doing an awesome, awesome job. And Devon Moore, what more can you say about this young man? He's been through a lot throughout his career. He's been ups and downs. He's had some injuries. He's the heart and soul of this ball club. He makes that engine go, and what's interesting about him, he makes key plays at the right time, Al. He doesn't have gaudy numbers, as you see there, 11 points and 4 assists, but when a big play needs to be made, he's the one with the ball in his hands.
And the weird part about it, William & Mary shot lights out from the field and from behind the arc, something they do so very well, and they had a tremendous early performance by one of the most explosive guards in the league in Marcus Thornton.
Marcus Thornton is big time. His style of play reminds me an awful lot of Steve Francis, from former player from Maryland. He's a super athletic guard that can get points in bunches.
Well, you see what William & Mary can do from the field, and they have been red hot as of late from behind the arc. And as you mentioned, Ron, leading the way is that guy Thornton, who can score from anywhere in the field, but is really especially deadly from three-point range.
He has a really quick release, and when he comes down in transition, you have to find him. He can go off the bounce, he can catch and shoot. And if you push up on him too much, he has the explosiveness to get all the way to the basket and finish with a dunk. The big improvement for him from last year to this year is his shot selection.
Well, he is going to be a guy closely watched and heavily depended on by the folks at William & Mary. Let's introduce our starting lineups, and let's begin with the third-seeded Dukes of James Madison University. It is a senior-laden team, but they've got some dynamite freshmen to work as well. You see A.J. Davis, Elion Diouf, both are seniors, along with Rayshawn Goins and Devon Moore, also seniors. The lone non-senior is freshman Andre Nation. And they all play for Matt Brady in his 5th season at JMU. Matt is assisted by Rob O'Driscoll, Mike Dean, and Bill Phillips. And for William & Mary, their starting lineup will feature some interesting talent that Matt Brady and company will have to keep an eye on. We told you about Marcus Thornton. How about Matt Rum tonight? 127 games at William & Mary. He is the all-time games leader because of that. Brandon Ritz, explosive in the backcourt, and the CA's leading field goal percentage leader is Tim Rustoven. He'll also work with Kyle Gaylord for Tony Shaver. Tony is in his 10th season at William & Mary. Jonathan Ohms, Cody Kimball, and Austin Shaver are Tony's assistants. So, Ron, as you take a look at this game, have you got a couple keys to concentrate on this evening?
Well, yeah, I do. When you think about JMU, they have to make sure that they don't fall in love with the quick jump shot. They're going to be open perimeter shots, make a few passes. A.J. Davis tends to come down and take the first look. That shot's going to be there. And then secondly, for William & Mary, Rustoven. Tim Rustoven cannot get in foul trouble. He's made a world of difference for this ball club. He was injured last year. William & Mary struggled mightily. He comes back this year. He's healthy. He's one of those post guys that can step out and face up and hit the face-up jump shot. But he's the heart and soul. He's the glue of this ball club.
Ron, as we told you, these two teams have met twice previously. The last time, just last Saturday, in the last game each side has played. How much of that, if any, carries over to tonight?
Well, I think you have to forget that game, but what it does, though, it lets both ball clubs know that we have to start off sharp. We can't take anything for granted. And let's be frank, Al, this postseason play. Yeah. You lose or you go home right now.
Well, this is the 87th time the 85th time these two teams have met, and they've met a lot recently in tournament play. Sean Cassidy, Bill Covington Jr., and Tim Ebersole are our officials, and we're underway with the third and final quarterfinal game of the CAA tournament in Richmond, Virginia. It's William & Mary with first possession, wearing their green trimmed in gold, JMU in white with the purple trim. As you see, Rayshawn Goins, a good sign, forcing a turnover against William & Mary. And this is the 10th time they have met in the CAA tournament, these two teams. Great rivalry on display this evening.
Al, of all the players on the floor, Rashawn Goings for JMU, number 33 in white, he wants to get himself going. He was one of their main go-to guys early on this season, but he's just had a miserable February and early March.
Well, there he has one shot missed, another shot blocked, and a shot clock violation on JMU's first possession. Take another look at this.
Look at Rashawn Goings. The first shot fell a little short. Give him credit for staying after, but he's going to have to find a way to come up with something when he gets the ball that close, either a foul or the bucket.
But at least you like to see him active like that
Exactly.
early on, being aggressive.
It was an interesting story with him. He lost 45 pounds coming into this season. When I'm looking at him now, he seems to be a little bit heavier than he was earlier in the season, and that could be a problem or would be a reason why he struggled as of late.
Only 2 points last Saturday against William and Mary. Sat almost the entire second half, and in his last 3 games has scored 6, 6, and 2 after nearly double figures. And there is a man who you have to keep an eye on. We told you he leads the CAA and one of the top in the nation in field goal percentage.
I told you, Russ Devon is the heart and soul of this ball club. He has to stay on the floor, can't afford to get in foul trouble. Always seems out to be in the right place at the right time, but he's highly, highly skilled. As this game progresses, you'll see his passing ability as well.
Ron, we should tell our audience you're going to see a lot of that tonight. He's so good and fundamentally strong with the footwork in the pivot.
And that's the key. If your footwork is solid, whether you're a post guy or a guard, that sets you up for your entire game, whether it's going off the bounce or catching and shooting.
It's interesting to see A.J. Davis in the starting lineup. As he's gotten hot in the month of February and early March, he's been coming off the bench a lot. But after a career-high 36 points last Saturday, Matt Davis going with a hot hand. Andre Nation up.
I tell you what, hot may be an understatement for the role that A.J. Davis has been on as of late.
And William and Mary turns it over. Marcus Thornton throwing it away. A.J. Davis seems to pick on William and Mary. How about this for this year in the 2 games they played? Averaging 31.5 points, and he's shooting over 61% from the field, 60% from three-point range. And we're going to hear more about A.J. Davis's performance from Brent Harris in a moment.
I like early on how JMU Al's been patient. You know, that coming into the game, that was something I was curious about, whether they'd settle for quick early jump shots. They're moving the ball around, trying to get multiple touches before they look for a shot.
Their leader, Devon Moore, on the attack and gets the first points for the Dukes. We mentioned what a trying year it has been for Devon Moore, his mother battling brain cancer. He's had to drive out to Columbus, Ohio a number of times. But this young man is just a diligent player and great character Matt Brady has learned to really lean on. Well, we talked about how hot A.J. Davis has been. Brent Harris, how about the February and early March of number 0?
That's been amazing. A.J. Davis, a senior transfer for Wyoming, is a young man who has had to do some maturing. So does head coach Matt Brady. He said he has had to buy into the team ideals. He wants to be part of something bigger than himself, and it took a little while for A.J. to realize that. So far, though, since he has realized that, he's been playing better defense and rebounding the ball. And Al, as you mentioned, he's playing some pretty good basketball, averaging 20 points over the last 7 games, and he had 63 points this year in the 2 wins over William and Mary.
Brent, thanks very much. The offensive goaltending call we see. And Ron Thompson, let's be honest, this is not a guy who's just come out of nowhere. This was a highly thought of player last year and coming into this season.
Well, he was a preseason second-team all. Last year he was second-team all CAA. Coming into the season, he was picked first-team preseason all CAA. So whether he could play or not wasn't the issue. He had to do an awful lot of maturing this season. I went to a few practices. He seemed listless. His focus wasn't there. It's good to see him regrouping and coming on at the end of the season.
He misses his first attempt down at the other end of the floor. Rashawn Goins has had some good looks inside. Hasn't been able to connect. Andre Nation leans in for a long 3 off the mark. Thornton trying to work baseline and kick a pass over to Britt. Had it knocked out of bounds by Devon Moore. We see Fred Heldring, a first substitution of the night. He'll come in off the William & Mary bench as Tim Rusthoven will get a blow.
Traditionally, William & Mary likes to be patient in their hybrid Georgetown-style offense, but because of Britt and because of Thornton's ability to go one-on-one, Coach Tony Shavers allowed these guys to shoot a little quicker than usual.
They really move the ball around exceptionally well. Matt Rum had a good look. How about Heldring working the glass? And Britt buries a three.
You have to get to Britt as well as Thornton around that three-point arc. They're very, very solid shooters, and they both have really quick releases.
36% from behind the arc is Brandon Britt. And Rashawn Goins has had a couple good looks. Finally, Elian Diouf cleans it up.
See, that's the shot early in the year that Rashawn Goins was finishing. Right now, he's really having difficulty making that shot when someone's in between he and the basket.
Devon Moore is matched up on Brandon Britt. Keeps Andre Nation on Marcus Thornton. Britt will drive. Tosses it inside, and there's going to be a foul called. Fred Heldring will be shooting free throws when we continue. William & Mary has averaged 10 three-pointers made the last 8 games. Brandon Britt has struck from there to start it. Tonight's CAA basketball coverage on Comcast Sportsnet is brought to you by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. And by Janny King, the king of clean. The early lead belongs to William & Mary, 6-4. But on that JMU sideline, a very good coach in Matt Brady. And for more on Matt, here is Brent Harris.
Well, as you know, James Madison swept the Tribe this year in their 2 meetings. But head coach Matt Brady said something rather interesting this week. He said, I don't think we're the better basketball team. He said these 2 teams are very even. And he said that sweep this year can work against us. He worries that his team is a very young team and how they play 4 freshmen more than any other team in the CAA. Maybe it's a little bit of coach speak. Maybe he was just trying to motivate his guys this week.
Interesting, Brent. Ron, you and I are familiar with a Hall of Famer named John Thompson, who used to use an expression, fattening frogs for snakes. Was that what Matt was doing there?
That's exactly right, because the guys that play a lion's share of his minutes are all upperclassmen, and the main go-to guys on this ball club are upperclassmen as well. But you have to kind of get yourself motivated. You have to make sure your team knows that you have to play each minute of every game.
No team in the NCAA has more seniors than Matt Brady's side. He's got 6 seniors, 5 of them redshirt seniors. However, one key one, as we see Elian Diouf stepping on the end line, one key redshirt senior, and a man who they hope to have back for a 6-year if the NCAA will allow it, is Andrei Semenov, one of the most deadly three-point shooters in the country. Taylor Bessick, number 22 in white, has come into the contest, giving Goins a rest. We see another freshman, Ron Curry, number 2, also getting some action off Matt Brady's bench. Here's 2 to shoot. And Matt Rum had to just throw up a prayer. That's a shot clock violation, and Matt Brady will like that defense.
He certainly will, and the good thing is they didn't pick up a foul at the end of that shot clock.
That's the third turnover on Tony Shaver's squad in the early moments. We see Rustoven checking back in. Freshman Terry Tarpey, number 25 in green, will come in. Rum and Heldring get a seat. Davis tries to put it on the floor, almost lost it and did. That one he just buried his head and drove. Here's Thornton trying to get around the senior Devon Moore. Quick double team on Rustoven. The kick out, Tarpey off the mark. Curry attacks baseline, finds Taylor Bessick. Unfriendly roll there. We've seen James Madison get some good interior looks, Ron.
They've got some really good looks. They just have to find a way to finish these out.
And a late whistle is going to get Tim Rustoven to the line.
But I tell you what, the good thing for JMU, the shots that they're getting any shot that they want. It's not like William & Mary has stopped them from getting the type of shots they want. They just have to settle down, especially when they get the ball on the interior and finish those jump hooks.
That foul is on the freshman, Taylor Bessick, the young man out of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. We mentioned how Matt Brady has so many seniors, but it's an interesting dynamic when you look at this JMU group. They're either seniors or freshmen. There's really almost nothing in between, and the JMU freshmen total 32% of the points and 41% of the minutes, despite having now 5 seniors available to Matt Brady.
And that is going to bode well next season. The freshmen don't see it now, but the minutes that they've logged and the experience that they've gotten from the minutes they've played this year is going to be huge come next season.
So Rustoven rattles home a couple. The lead is 5 for William & Mary. Devon Moore, a long 3. Got that one.
I love his size at that point guard position. You know, he's about 6'4", 6'5", long arms, can cover ground, just a solid all-around ball player.
And there's a whistle flagged by Sean Cassidy as William & Mary will not back off.
This year's William & Mary Ball Club, they play at a lot faster pace than usual. When there's missed baskets and there's fast break opportunities, those guys are going to take it, especially when Britt or Thornton has the ball in their hands.
Britt with the first of his 2 free throws. Taylor Bessick, the freshman we mentioned a moment ago now, has gotten 2 quick personal fouls, but Matt Brady will keep him in the game. We see 3 freshmen in there as Charles Cook, number 4 in white, has joined Ron Curry and Bessick. So Brandon Britt with 5 early points. He's nearing a very interesting milestone at William & Mary. Cook watched by the freshman Tarpey. Davis closed off by Boatner. Moore backs it out with under 10 to shoot. And got Matt Rum to reach in. So Matt Rum picks up his first on the team.
Take a look at Devon Moore, not selling for the jump shot, pressing the issue, trying to get to the basket, and draws the foul. Great job at not just carelessly dribbling in there, but coming up with something.
everything gets funneled through Devon Moore. He's very patient with the basketball, always looking for the best option. Charles Cook kicks it back out to Moore, and again there's under 10. So Moore will take it himself and finishes.
Great one-on-one play that time by Moore. The clock was winding down, and it seemed like JMU had nowhere to go, and he just put his head down and created something where there was nothing.
That's why he is the ultimate closer on this team. You see the things he can do. Great defense there by Cook. It forces the turnover. And Davis on the attack. Finishes with the left hand. His first bucket of the night. Ties the game at 11.
Now, Davis can flat out score the basketball, whether it be jump shots, whether it be getting to the basket. I saw him scrimmage earlier this year, JMU scrimmage Georgetown, and he just looked unreal in that scrimmage.
Inside, Rustoven has position on Davis, but traveled before the shot. There's a timeout on the floor. Tim Rustoven and William & Mary had the lead, but A.J. Davis and his cousin Devon Moore have brought the Dukes back. Moore with the spin in the paint. This game is tied at 11. Part of a great contingent in purple that has traveled from Harrisonburg, Virginia, across Highway 64 to get to Richmond, Virginia. And they've seen James Madison come back after starting 2 of 10 from the field. Ron Thompson, they've made the last 3 in a row, and right into the hands of Devon Moore.
With Devon Moore that time, 6'4" guard just getting in the paint, going up over his defender. That time, the defender goes under the screen. He makes him pay by nailing the 3. And then here, his clock's winding down. Nothing was there. He found a way to get to the basket and convert. He set the tone and tempo early on for JMU in this first half.
He is 3 of 3 from the field. 1 of those a three-pointer. He's got 7 points to lead all scorers. Davis, he'll fire a 3 and hits. So A.J. Davis has now got 5 points as he's come alive. Matt Rum continues the miseries for William & Mary from beyond the arc. They're just 1 of 7 from that range.
And credit JMU for doing an excellent job out at contesting all of these perimeter shots by William & Mary. They're not getting a lot of wide open looks.
Well, Matt Brady will tell you the things that have turned this season around for him, not just the points they've been able to put up, but it's that 0, it's the defense. Rustoven inside, couldn't get it to go. Goins back in the contest, challenged that. Britt on the move, and Brandon Britt has come up now with 7 points tonight.
That was an excellent change of pace that time by Britt. He thought he was going to settle for the jump shot, and then he saw the hole open up. He just shifted gears and got all the way to the rack.
going to get a foul inside as Brandon Britt has exploited a little inside crack in the armor.
Take a look. He was going to take the jump shot, but he saw everything spread open, and he just stepped on the gas and got all the way to the rack. This end of the court is where JMU has had a huge improvement, Al. They've become a lot more patient in their half-court sets. Early in the year, they would just settle for a quick jump shot, and the wrong guys would take shots. We see here now in early March them being a lot more efficient on the offensive end.
Well, you can be really efficient when you know how to shoot the basketball like A.J. Davis can. He has been lights out. He is now 30 of 62 from three-point range his last 7 games. The lead is 4 for the Dukes. Rum, good fake and attacking. Rusthoven will clean it up. That's why you can shoot 55% from the field. Actually, Tim Rusthoven is closer to 56% to lead this conference, number 29 in the country in that department. Cook funnels it inside. Goins stumbling. Still seems a little frustrated right now. Davis got Thornton up in the air. Couldn't get the shot to go, but will be shooting free throws.
What makes Davis such a valuable scorer from the wing is not just his ability to shoot the ball, but he's 6'6". He's got good size. So, you know, he's got a strong body. So when he catches the ball on the wing, he always sees a clear angle to the basket because most of the guys that are guarding him are 2 or 3 inches shorter than him. And then you look at his frame, he can get to the rack and finish.
A little strong on that first one. Davis sitting on 8 points, 2 of 3 from three-point range. For the season, A.J. Davis, a 68% free throw shooter. So look at that JMU bench where Devon Moore gets a breather. And short on this one. So A.J. Davis, it's amazing when you see a guy so deadly from three-point range and yet 68% from the stripe where no one's in his face.
And you know what? Sometimes it becomes mental at that point.
There is the Marcus Thornton we've been expecting. The explosive scorer buries his first 3 of the night. And just like that, William and Mary back on top. So the story from behind the arc, both of these two teams love to do damage there, as Goins still unable to get anything to fall. He's now 0 of 5 from the field. So a timeout on the floor. Freshman Charles Cook and JMU have watched A.J. Davis strike, but it's William and Mary in the lead by 1. NCAA tournament quarterfinal action, the last game of the day, and it's been a good one so far, as William and Mary has carved out a 1-point lead over A.J. Davis and James Madison and Ron Thompson. We've seen A.J. Davis strike inside and out.
Well, his confidence is extremely high right now. You see him here in transition right now. In that situation, he was just bigger, stronger, and better than Matt Run. And then here on the wing, he catches it, his 6'6" size, just shoots over the defender. And then here, again, the late closeout, his feet are set. It's like target practice at this point.
8 points, 2 rebounds for A.J. Davis, who will now get a breather. So in the game right now, we do not see A.J. Davis or Devon Moore for James Madison. Diouf watching Thornton. Good defense there. Now Thornton working against the freshman Cook. He'll fire another three and gets hit by Andre Nation and will be shooting 3 free throws.
It's really hard to judge when Thornton is going to pull up and take that jump shot because he's got a herky-jerky motion to his game. His body language, his mannerisms really remind me of the former Maryland guard Steve Francis. Right there, you see he pulls up, catches him right there on the wrist. Excellent call by the official.
That's high praise indeed. Marcus Thornton, a sophomore from Upper Marlboro, Maryland, so he kind of shares a little geography with Stevie Francis.
Let me tell you, to be mentioned in the same sense with Steve Francis as a basketball player is a good thing. Stevie Francis could flat out get it.
Well, an All-CAA performer this year, first teamer, after being a All-CAA rookie team member last year. And when you score as much as Marcus Thornton does, you take advantage of these opportunities at the line, an 82% free throw shooter. Buries all 3, stretches the lead to 3. And Thornton, the chase out on Andre Nation, forces a travel.
Andre got a little bit too excited that time. He saw the opening and he shuffled the puppies just a little bit too much that time.
Matt Brady doesn't wait too long to bring back Devon Moore and A.J. Davis, as Rayshawn Goins, scoreless so far in this game, will sit along with freshman Ron Curry.
When you look at JMU's roster, Al, they don't have a lot of tall guys vertically, but they have a lot of guys in that 6'5", 6'6" range. So what that does is defensively, it allows you to do a lot of different things. Like here, you can full court, you can run and jump. Half court, you can switch and not be penalized.
Kyle Gaylord, a spinny move, have it stripped away. Britt, and that is now 1,001 points in the career at William & Mary for guard Brandon Britt, and he is only a junior. Andre Nation, it won't go. William & Mary has had a tough time with that rim inside the paint. Marcus Thornton forces Matt Brady into a timeout as Thornton and Britt have gotten it going from behind the arc. A 13-0 run for a 25-17 lead.
When you've got two guards like Thornton and Britt that have speed, that have energy, that have explosiveness, you have to pay attention to your half-court defense because these two guys can create their own shot and they can string together 3 and 4 shots consecutively, and they can do it from behind the arc. Right here, nice between the legs, pull up from Thornton, and he's feeling it. That time, JMU had no shot. Nation put his hand up when Thornton was on his way down from the shot. Thornton's release is far too quick. You got to jam him, be there on the catch, because he's in a rhythm and a flow right now. Your best bet may be not to even let him catch the ball.
And Ron, when we see a guy like Marcus Thornton play, his release, he's so high on the jump that his release point is so quick. That combination of the quick first step, the high jump, and that quick release, that's virtually unstoppable.
And what has happened this season is Coach Tony Shaver said that he's been really pleased with his shot selection. See, when you have a guard that can get his shot whenever he wants, The best thing about him sometimes is that he can get a shot whenever he wants as Moore gets all the way to the basket. But the worst thing about a guard that can get a shot whenever he wants is a guard that can get a shot whenever he wants. So he's found the balance this season, which is hard for a scorer.
Well, just to remind everybody, last week when these two teams played, Marcus Thornton had 19 first-half points. He only had a single free throw in the second half. That's going to be the second foul now on Andre Nation, who Matt Brady counts on for so many things. He praises his freshman for his great basketball IQ. Kyle Gaylord now at the line with the 7th-team foul on William and Mary, shooting the front end of the 1-and-1 and misses. So we saw Devon Moore out of that last JMU timeout score a calming bucket. We'll see what the Dukes have in store here. Davis turning the corner and powers it down.
Excellent refusal that time. It looked like there was going to be a dribble handoff. He faked the handoff. That's a set play. Great call by Matt Brady. And Davis turned the corner. You see right now how talented this young man is. It's a shame, though, that he wasted more than half the season because his head wasn't in the right place.
And William and Mary off that Duke pressure turns it over for the 6th time in this first half.
Watch this. He fakes the handoff, turns the corner, and just explodes.
We are seeing between Marcus Thornton and A.J. Davis athleticism supreme. Here's Nation. A three for Andre Nation. And a run for JMU forces Tony Shaver into a timeout as he has seen this game down to a 1-point contest.
I like it. I like it. Nation and Thornton are going back and forth, but the official needs to relax a little bit. I mean, I saw the entire play. Nation hit a shot, turned around, just smiled at Thornton. Sometimes I think officials get a little overzealous. I mean, there's nothing wrong with, it's a game. That wasn't a dirty play. He wasn't being emotional. Sometimes I think officials just get a little carried away with trying to stop trash talking.
Well, you're enjoying men's action in Richmond, and we invite you to catch all the 2013 CAA Women's Basketball Championship Tournament. It's presented by Janney King, and it takes place next week, March 14th through the 17th, at the Showplace Arena in Upper Marlboro, Maryland. Log on to casports.com for more details. Let's check in with our third man, Brent Harris.
William and Mary concerned about the turnovers. 6 already in this game. They had 20 to 14 in the 2 meetings earlier this year against James Madison. Now, Tony Shaver said this week, he said there's not much you can do this late in this season when it comes to turnovers. You can't change a whole lot. You just got to go out there and cut down on them. He said that's going to be a key here today. You can't turn the ball over.
To your point, Brent, they are 10th in the conference in turnover margin. They turn the ball over 2.4 times more than they actually have assists. And they don't do a very good job on the offensive boards either. So those are the things that worry Tony Shaver. But he sees what his offense can do. But to your point earlier, Ron, sometimes live by the 3, die by the 3, live by hoisting up shots as soon as you want to. So it's going to be interesting to see how they calm things down here.
Exactly. I like what JMU is doing. Every other possession or so, they're mixing in their full court presses just to try to cut the clock so they don't have to play against this patient, methodical half-court offense that the Tribe are capable of running.
We had a 12-0 William and Mary run answered by that 7-0 JMU run until Rusthoven in his favorite spot quiets that.
Great call out of the timeout, I think, by Tony Shaver. Last few possessions, the Tribe took a lot of jump shots. He said, you know what, let's go inside, let's go to Rusthoven, let's give him a touch on the block.
That was a quick release 3 that may have been a little too quick for Devon Moore, but if it goes in, Ron?
When Devon pulled up, I'm sitting here shaking my head like, no, and he nailed it. As a coach, you say, no, great shot, Devon. But that's the shot that I was saying early on. They have to be careful that they don't fall in love with that quick jump shot.
After starting 2 of 10 from the field, they're 9 of their last 11 and 5 of 5 from 3. And here they come again. Moore kicks to the corner. That is Charles Cook. Can't get it into the hands of Thornton, who pushes the pace. Rustoven again, but we're going to get an offensive foul on on Kyle Gaylord as he passed to Rustoven. So frantic action as we come down to 3:38 to go in the first half. Folks, we're tied at 27. Tied at 27 with 3:38 to go in the first half. The last of our 3 quarterfinal games of the CAA men's basketball tournament, and it's a rematch of what happened last Saturday night in Williamsburg, Virginia, where Marcus Thornton went off. He had 19 first half points, but finished the game with 20. And A.J. Davis for James Madison comes alive, a career-high 36 points, and it's the Dukes that beat the Tribe 69-67 as we see the season series. A 19-point deficit JMU rallied from Ron Thompson, and this is despite the fact that William and Mary shot 60% from the field last Saturday. But a whole new ball game tonight, and we are dead even with 3:25 to go.
JMU, they've gone small. You see Diouf, number 5, is their tallest ball player on the ball club. He's really like a small forward, and he's playing the 5 with A.J. Davis, who would be their 4-man.
And still no Rashawn Goins as they've gone small. 4 to shoot. Curry will, and got it. That was a good look, not a bailout shot as they ran offensively, and Curry spun to the right spot.
Essentially, JMU, they're playing with 4 guards and 1 small forward. A lot of defensive dexterity, a lot of flexibility. They should be able to put a lot of pressure on the ball.
Rustoven trying to take advantage of the size matchup against Diouf, but they can't get it into him yet.
See, because of the lineup, they can switch all ball screens and all crosses. As you see, whenever you see a screen for a ball, they're just going to switch.
And a backdoor look, a perfect feed. Matt Rum finds Marcus Thornton.
Oh, that's what happens. You know, Thornton hits a few jump shots, they lull you to sleep, and he cuts back door for the wide open layup.
9 points now for the sophomore Marcus Thornton. And even though Rum has been quiet in terms of points scored, he's made a few nice entry passes and backdoor look passes for this offense. Davis guns away, back of the iron, and here's Rum. Had it stripped away, Devon Moore comes up with it. The slashing Davis, he'll finish with the finger roll. A.J. Davis again on fire. He's got 12. And a whistle from Sean Cassidy. He's going to get freshman Curry with the foul.
Take a look at Davis. He catches the ball on the wing. when he gets the ball, he's constantly in attack mode. You don't have to wonder what he's thinking. You don't have to wonder where his mind is. He's trying to get to the basket or get a shot up.
You know, Ron, sitting here at this angle, we see Devon Moore flash right in front of us and throw a high, hard pass. That's a tough catch and finish in stride the way A.J. Davis made it look easy.
It was, but credit Devon Moore for knowing who he was throwing the ball to. And when you're quarterbacking a ball club, you have to know who your receivers are, and he knew that Davis would catch that ball and finish it. Certain players, Al, you can throw certain passes to, and it's up to the passer to know who his receivers are.
So Britt now with the opportunity to tie this game up. Make that 12 points now for Brandon Britt, who's been on fire in this first half. He is a scorer, averages 13.8 per game, and is a good deep shooter, but not particularly talented at the line, just at 67%, but looked very strong there. As with now under 90 seconds to play first half, we're back to another tie. Davis looking to change that, and will, with an extra shot coming.
He's got it going, Al. He really does, and he's had it going in the last 3 games or so. He's so strong. When, you know, he beat his man, but the help came, but he just rose up over him right there. You see, he beats his man on the wing. You see that the double team, the help come, but he raises off the dribble and converts it. Scorers can score, and that's what Davis is. He's not a shooter. He's a scorer.
And Ron, from my point of view, it doesn't look like he's been a ball hog. He looks like he's just taking advantage of what has been there and knowing what he can do.
And that has been a difference between the latter part of the season and early on. Early on, he was forcing a lot of shots. He wasn't allowing the offense to work for him. He was pressing the issue. Now he's letting it come to him, and you're seeing his natural offensive ability within the offense.
They feed inside to Rusthoven. He's fouled. And he'll get some shots out of this. So Devon Moore will pick up the foul. That's his second. And the Dukes now with 19 fouls. Rusthoven, though, was fouled in the act of shooting, so he will get his 2. Rusthoven misses both. Battle for the loose ball, and Diouf comes up with it. As we have now a minute to go in a very entertaining first half of quarterfinal game number 3 from the CAA Men's Basketball Tournament presented by Janney King. A catch and shoot for Curry. There's Thornton high for that board. Terry Tarpey, the freshman wearing number 25 for William & Mary, getting a lot of first half time. Julian Boatner also in the game. Rusthoven surrounded and finds Tarpey.
Great patience by Rusthoven in the double team that time, and Tarpey cut and moved without the ball. What happens? They threw it in the post, and all the JMU defenders out turned and looked at the ball. Tarpey cut back door, and Rusthoven hit him for an easy layup.
A whistle and a turnover. Gives William & Mary the basketball with 4.5 seconds left.
You see the screen and roll. Diouf sets the screen, but when he rolled, the official thought he took Thornton right with him, and he calls a foul. Great call that time by the official. Diouf was trying to get out of the way, but couldn't really get there fast enough.
So Devon Moore will sit these final 4.5 seconds. Rusthoven trying to beat the buzzer, and that is how the first half ends. It's JMU behind 15 points from A.J. Davis with a 1-point lead over Tim Rusthoven and William & Mary, 34-33. Standing by right now with Matt Brady, the head coach at JMU, is our Brent Harris.
All right, thank you very much, Al. 1-point lead. What did you like out of your team in the first half?
Well, we got down, but we kept fighting. I thought that we gave up too many easy shots at the rim. We gave up 3 offensive rebounds for baskets. and then we gave up a couple of baskets to Thorne where we weren't ready to guard him. So we've got to do a better job on Thorne. We've got to do a better job on the defensive glass.
A lot of energy out of A.J. Davis. Pretty nice first half. You got to be pleased about that.
Yeah, his shot selection has come a long way here in the last couple months. His defense has gotten better. He gave up a layup there at the end where he didn't identify the weak side. We need A.J. to play at both ends, and we need everybody on our team to rebound a little bit better.
All right, Coach Brady, best of luck in the second half. Back to you, Al.
Brent, thank you very much. We thank Matt Brady. Brent will try and get a word in with Tony Shaver before the start of the second half on the William and Mary bench. A.J. Davis with 15 points. Marcus Thornton has been hot as well. And William and Mary trailing the Dukes by 1. We start our halftime here.
Welcome back to the Richmond Coliseum in the CAA basketball tournament. The Colonial Athletic Association would like to acknowledge this year's Dean Ellers Leadership Award recipient, who was honored last night at the Championship Awards banquet. This award is given in recognition of the longtime James Madison University Athletic Director's contributions to intercollegiate athletics. Welcome back to the Richmond Coliseum in the CAA basketball tournament. The Colonial Athletic Association would like to acknowledge this year's Dean Ellers Leadership Award recipient, who was honored last night at the Championship Awards banquet. This award is given in recognition of the longtime James Madison University Athletic Director's contributions to intercollegiate athletics, which recognizes the men's and women's basketball student athletes who embody the highest standards of leadership, integrity, and sportsmanship in conjunction with their academic and athletic achievements. This year's men's recipient is Jonathan Lee of Northeastern University, a senior from Flint, Michigan, who is majoring in graphic design. The Colonial Athletic Association congratulates Jonathan on this prestigious award. Halftime continues here in Richmond. First half stats and highlights are straight ahead.
As you would expect between two great rivals in their 85th meeting, And the 10th time in a CAA tournament. It's a good halftime performance so far. William & Mary trailing James Madison by 34-33. Al Kochen, Ron Thompson back with you. Brent Harris joining us as well this evening. Take a look at our Geico stats, Ron, and as we see both sides doing pretty good work from behind the arc, but you really see what William & Mary has hung in there at the free throw line.
You want to do a little slightly better job defensively because both ball clubs right now are shooting around 50% from the floor, and that's far too high. Expect that number to come down. But when you look at the job that A.J. Davis, I think, has done, he's done an outstanding job in the first half.
We've seen William & Mary turn the ball over 8 times, and that is where James Madison has taken advantage, and particularly when you have a guy like Devon Moore, who has been flawless from the field in this first half.
Oh, he's done a great job, I think. He set the table. He's got 12 points, 3 assists, 2 rebounds, and no turnovers, and he's done it without pressing the issue. He scored the points when they needed him to score it. He's been the Robin to A.J. Davis's Batman. A.J. Davis has led the way, but Devon Moore has been really, really solid at picking his spots when to score.
Well, this senior does not want his college career to end this evening. And that 1-2 punch we mentioned, they are cousins. Both Davis and Moore come from Columbus, Ohio. Some of Matt Brady's early recruits, and they have been the offense for JMU. It's been spread out with the usual suspects for Tony Shaver's club. Brandon Britt with 12, Rusthoven and Thornton with 9 apiece. So we've seen the guys we have expected to see so far distribute the basketball and score it as well. A.J. Davis has been on fire the entire month of February, and he's got a good start to March as well. We'll be back with more halftime activities after this. Anything you want me to hit you with?
Just me a general question. What are your overall thoughts of the first half?
Okay. The popcorn is hot, and so has been the basketball. We're at halftime, where James Madison has a 1-point lead over William & Mary, the 4th time in the last 5 years these two teams have met here in the CAA tournament. Al Kochen back with Ron Thompson. Brent Harris will join us with a word from Tony Shaver in just a moment. But We've expected a good game. I think we're getting it. What have your impressions been so far?
Well, I think both teams have gotten what they've wanted offensively. Both teams have been very efficient. Both teams have shared the ball. Both teams have shot the ball really well, shooting over 50%. Expect that number, though, 50%, to come down a little bit here in the second half.
As expected, the usual suspects have been on display. Britt, Thornton, and Rustover for William and Mary have been the triumvirate that Tony Shaver has ridden hard in that first half.
Well, those two guys are the ones that get it done. You see Britt right there with the change of pace right there. The middle was like the party at a Red Sea. It opened up, and he took advantage of it. And then Thornton, he has a very quick release. He got on a roll. I thought he did a great job at getting William and Mary going when they were sputtering. And then Rustover, he's like the silent assassin. He's always there when you need him. And he's very efficient and a very astute passer. But on the other end, I thought these two guys, Moore as well as Davis, they carried the load offensively. Moore used his size and his passing ability to set the tempo, and then Davis used his raw scoring talent to get JMU going, especially right there to close the first half.
Well, needless to say, there has been a lot to shout about, and why not? These two rivals went at it in the first half. We've got the second half right around the corner on Comcast Sportsnet.
That's what it is.
All right, guys, good news, bad news. Coach Shaver, it's a one-point game, but you look across to the other side, and Davis and Moore, 10 of 12. They've had a pretty big first half. What do you do to stop those two?
We've got to be better defensively. We really do. I mean, we scored the ball. Been a great half of basketball, I think, but we're not good enough defensively to stop those two guys right now. And a lot of their baskets have come on turnovers. We have 8 turnovers at half, which we've got to minimize.
Any other adjustments you look to make here in the second half, Coach?
We may play a little bit more zone, may trap more a little bit more here second half.
All right, best of luck. Thank you, Coach. Send it back to you, Al.
An explosive first half of basketball captured by our great crew here in Richmond, Virginia. We're still at halftime, about to start the second half with Madison on top by 1. Brent Harris a moment ago caught up with the William & Mary head coach, Tony Shaver.
All right, guys, good news, bad news. Coach Shaver, it's a one-point game, but you look across to the other side, and Davis and Moore, 10 of 12. They've had a pretty big first half. What do you do to stop those two?
We've got to be better defensively. We really do. I mean, we scored the ball. Been a great half of basketball, I think, but we're not good enough defensively to stop those two guys right now. And a lot of their baskets have come on turnovers. We have 8 turnovers at half, which we've got to minimize.
Any other adjustments you look to make here in the second half, Coach?
We may play a little bit more zone, may trap more a little bit more here second half.
All right, best of luck. Thank you, Coach. Send it back to you, Al.
Brett, we thank you very much. Brett, we thank you. And Tony Shaver, Matt Brady, all the coaches all year long who have cooperated throughout our entire season on Comcast Sportsnet Basketball. We can't thank them enough to make sure we get you all the information and inside looks and inside work. And those guys have been terrific all year long, Ron Thompson. Our cooperation with them has been sensational.
Oh, it's been great. You know, and I love the insight that we've gotten from these guys coming out of halftime, right before the half as well. And I thought that Coach Shaver made an interesting point. He said we haven't physically been strong enough to stop the onslaught of Moore as well as A.J. Davis so far this game, and he couldn't have made a better point. The size of those two guys have given William and Mary as much trouble as their ability.
Interesting look. That man right there to the right of your picture is Mike Dean, one of the assistant coaches. He was Matt Brady's head coach at Siena in Matt Brady's senior year. He had just taken over that program. We see what we've got here in terms of explosive scoring teams and William and Mary among the best. But Matt Brady talked about how last year when things were going so difficult with all the injuries that they ran into, that he found himself constantly calling up his former coach and saying, Coach this, Coach that, what about that? He said, I talked to him so much, I finally said, why don't you come out of retirement and join me? And it's been a great situation as you see Matt and Mike Dean on the JMU bench.
Yeah, Mike Dean's well respected in this business. He's been around for a while. He's one of those guys that you can always pick up the phone, even if you've got a question about, if you're another coach, if you got a question about some of the things he's doing, he always has the time to bounce different ideas off of you.
So here we go. There's Rayshawn Goins setting a screen. You see Devon Moore and his output so far, and right off the get-go, this is what JMU has been looking for to get this man, Rayshawn Goins, going, and that is the way the second half begins.
Hopefully this goes a long way in terms of getting Rayshawn Goins' motor going. You know, they started the first half with this play for him. He wasn't able to convert it. This time he gets the and one, goes to the free throw line, and gets the three-point play the old-fashioned way.
Boy, could that help the cause for the Dukes if they can get a second half performance typical of what Rayshawn Goins has done almost the entire year. And now we see that pressure offense knocking things out of bounds. And the Dukes continue to trap the ball handler. This is Britt who will get it into Thornton. See what Brandon Britt did in that first half. Still not quite the first half you would expect from three-point range for a team that, as I mentioned, has averaged 10 three-pointers over the last 8 games. That is unbelievable production.
Oh, I mean, if you credit them for running them off the three-point line and not letting them get on that kind of a roll. But both ball clubs, as we touched on, shot an incredibly high percentage in the first half, 50%.
So Rusthoven's first attempt of the second half will not go. There was Goins again to work inside. They go to Diouf. Goins tries to keep it alive. He and Rusthoven battle, and Rusthoven comes up with the board. Again by Marcus Thornton as he and Andre Nation get tangled up there. It's 12 points now for Thornton. He has been the real constant there offensively, and that jumper is so devastating. Moore down the lane and scores. Devon Moore picking up his 14th point. Triple team that time was Rusthoven. So Gaylord, who was scoreless, gets something, and they're going to get Rusthoven on a push-off.
Great job, I thought, that time by Bill Covington. He was all over it. Rusthoven literally pushed the guy right before he went up for the rebound.
Take another look at it.
Take a look at 22 in green. You see 2 hands on his back, pushes off as Nation goes up for a rebound, and Easy call to make.
Another great look that our crew has provided us. They have put in a long day of work here in Richmond, Virginia. We can't thank them enough. All the men and women who have joined us this evening at the Richmond Coliseum for 3 terrific basketball games. George Mason beating Drexel to advance. They'll play the number 1 seed Northeastern tomorrow. Earlier we saw Delaware hold off Hofstra, and they will await the winner of this game as Rusthoven rattles that home to make it a 1-point contest.
Good job by Rusthoven that time, Al. He was really patient in the post and put it on the floor 1 or 2 times until he saw the opening and then went into his jump hook.
Tim Rusthoven is now in double figures. He's got 11. They trap out on Devon Moore. Diouf comes to help. Moore, quick release again on that 3. Had Britt backing up and fires in another one. So Devon Moore, the redshirt senior, with 17 to lead all scorers. Something had to come out of that. There were 3 different white shirts around Tim Rusthoven, and finally the whistle blows, and it'll be a foul on A.J. Davis.
Take a look at it. Here, Rusthoven gets it on the interior. 3 JMU guys all around, and I don't know if that was a foul, but I tell you what, it was an ugly play.
I thought it was going to be against A.J. Davis. Apparently they're flagging Andre Nation, and if that is officially Nation's, that's going to be his 3rd personal foul.
Tim Rusthoven now has made all the difference in the world of William & Mary. Last year, he didn't play because of injury, and this year he's back in the fold. He's healthy, and what he does, he gives them that inside threat, but also he gives them another passer. And in this William & Mary offense, you can't have enough guys with ball handling skills that can set this offense up with their passing.
You know, doing the game last week where Matt Brady's club came back on William & Mary, working with John Feinstein, I looked up and I realized Tim Rusthoven was sitting there with 18 points. I said it was the quietest 18 points I can remember, but that's how he does it.
Yep, it's not a lot of flair. He gets to the free throw line. He'll make about 6 free throws a game and step out and hit a 3 and get a lot of little 2s around the basket. It just doesn't look pretty because he's on the floor with a guy like Thornton and a guy like a Brandon Britton. He's the guy that just quietly racks up his numbers.
Rusthoven finished with 20 points and 8 rebounds that night as Davis's first attempt of the half is short. Diouf working hard on the glass. We'll get some free throws out of it.
When you look at both of these ball clubs, or actually all of the guys, all the teams in this tournament, it's great to see the progression from the early in the year to now. You see different teams that have improved in certain areas. And JMU, they've improved on their offensive efficiency, as you see, quick ball movement around the perimeter, making the extra pass. And earlier in the season, they would not have done that. The first guy that got the pass would have looked to go one-on-one. So this team has really grown as the season has progressed.
Rusthoven heading to the William & Mary bench after picking up his 2nd personal foul. That is 3 on the try. Diouf hitting his 2nd after missing the 1st. So this stays a very close game. JMU now up 2. Tarpe trying to get ahead of the pack, and Nation is flagged for the foul, and this could be his 4th. And he is a little upset, and Matt Brady's got to calm him down. Well, he let the wide receiver get behind him here, Ron Thompson.
And he looked like a DB, though, trying to cover ground, and he comes up right underneath him, and I think the official thought it was just a little bit too much contact with the body.
So we've got him unofficially for 4. And that could keep Andre Nation, who has been a really important freshman player for Matt Brady, out of this game for quite some time.
You're going to see a huge jump in Andre Nation's production from this year to next year. He's one of those players that next year you're going to be like, whoa, I didn't know he was that good.
A.J. Davis turns it and step on the sideline. So we will step aside. A.J. Davis, after a strong first half, has yet to score here in the 2nd, but his Dukes are up 3 over William & Mary.
Let me know when you go to the board. Welcome back to the Richmond Coliseum. 15:43 left here in the second half. James Madison, the 3 seed, with a 3-point lead right now over William and Mary. The Tribe, one of 5 schools that have never played or made the NCAA tournament. They have been close. Under Tony Shaver, they made the CAA championship game a couple of times. Back in 2008, they lost in the championship game to George Mason. And then back in 2010, they lost to Old Dominion. Boy, they would love to break through and make their first NCAA big dance. Al, they got to get past the first game, and they're in a dogfight.
No question about it, Brent, but as Ron Thompson said right at the top of our first game between Hofstra and Delaware, this is as wide open a tournament as he could possibly see. So anybody's got a chance, and why not Terry Tarpey and the Tribe?
Good ball movement, good patience that time. Again, caught JMU staring at the ball, and the weak side man just cut back door for a wide open layup. We've seen that type of play happen at least 4 times today.
You know, Ron, to Brent's point, Tony Shaver's won 7 tourney games in his 9 years. Brent mentioned the 2 CAA championship games they've been in. They'd love to do it this year. Next year, they only really lose one key player, and that's Matt Rum. So they're kind of locked and loaded for a while now. Thornton, the scoop and finish, and William and Mary is in the lead.
I really thought that time Thornton was bumped as he took the shot. I thought the JMU got away with the foul not being called, but credit Thornton, the body control, and able to finish with the hit.
Marcus Thornton with 14 points. As we've passed the, getting close to passing the 6-minute mark. And this game has been as tight as could be. Charles Cook trying to answer back and into the hands of Fred Heldring. Rustoven on the bench, getting a breather. Gaylord, got it! Kyle Gaylord has totaled only 9 points in his last 3 games, just 2 in the last 2, after having double figures in 7 of his previous 9. But he is shooting 37% from 3-point range this year. Cook will get to the line. Kyle Gaylord, Ron Thompson, has been quiet all night long, but a pretty good time to break out.
Well, he caught it on the ring and turned and saw how far Rashawn Goins was off of him. He said, look here, I got to take this. And then here on the other end, Cook sees a wide open lane, attacks it, and draws the bump.
In and out on the free throw attempt by Charles Cook. That foul is on Fred Heldring, and that's going to be his second. He misses. Charles Cook couldn't get either of those 2 free throws to drop. So William and Mary stays on top by 4 as they have mustered up another one of the runs that we've seen this evening. Britt calling for it and buries another 3.
William and Mary's doing an excellent job out at spacing the floor offensively, and they're moving the ball quickly, forcing JMU to try and chase him.
Brandon Britt putting a capper on a now 10-0 William and Mary run as he has got 15 points. And suddenly William and Mary looking like that team that has averaged 10 3-pointers over their last 8 games.
But so far for William and Mary, it's been that three-headed monster of Tim Rustoven, Marcus Thornton, and as well as Brandon Britt. And these guys have just been carrying the load for them all night long. That time, excellent ball movement, I thought, by William and Mary. And JMU has to stop staring at the ball. They have all 5 guys looking in one direction, and when they start to look in one direction, the William and Mary offensive guys, they start to move, and they're getting wide open shots all night long.
Well, to your point, we saw on those great replays we just gave you that Brandon Britt simply ran to a spot. And you know Matt Brady, coming into this game, knowing William and Mary's proclivity for shooting three-pointers, has told his guys as point A, B, and C, stop the three-pointers, and nobody followed Brandon Britt to where he wanted to go.
Now it's a defensive lapse, and that's what JMU has had too many times here at the start of the second half, is mentally they haven't locked in. They're putting good pressure on the ball for the most part, but once the ball is secure, the other 4 guys, especially on a ball club like William and Mary, with the 4 guys without the ball are in constant motion, defensively, you can't stare in one direction. You have to look and point and find out where the men are.
Well, Britt has been averaging nearly 16 points a game over his last 7. We told you in the first half that he had passed the 1,000-point mark of his William and Mary career. So he continues to add to that. And this junior from Chesapeake, Virginia, has certainly provided a great additional weapon to Marcus Thornton in the backcourt. And when you've got Tim Rustoven, the CAA's leading field goal percentage performer, it is a very intriguing combination that Tony Shaver has to work with. The Tribe and Tony Shaver coming alive from behind the arc, 3 of 4 in this second half from three-point range after a 3 of 10 performance in the first half. And there's what we've seen as the answer comes from Ron Curry. And there Matt Brady gets something accomplished out of that timeout.
You love to see that as a coach. Out of a timeout, you see your guys execute and you nail the shot.
Matt Brady back with his small lineup as Goins is out. Rustoven back in for Tony Shaver. Watched by Devon Moore. There's 3 to shoot. And Britt is hammered on the way up by A.J. Davis.
Again, excellent patience by William and Mary. They let the shot clock wind down, but when the clock went down, they didn't panic. They stayed within their offense and got a layup. Take a look. Britt drives to the basket, draws contact. He, as well as Marcus Thornton, do an excellent job at when they drive, they make sure they come up with something, and that's key.
Marcus Thornton is about to check back in, so Tony Shaver was able to give Marcus a great rest long before that last timeout and even a couple possessions after the timeout. So this should be down the stretch for Marcus Thornton.
And that's key, and credit Tony Shaver's assistants, because they found a pocket of the game where they could rest Marcus Thornton, get him some key minutes. Once, he felt good, he let the head coach know, look, Marcus is ready to go. Tony Shaver says, you know what, I think I can buy 2 more minutes. And he got away with extending his time on the bench, and now, like you said, he's going to probably be in for the remainder of the game.
So Britt is up to 17 points, matching A.J. Davis. Or excuse me, matching this man, Devon Moore. That's a great feed. Moore finding Elian Diouf. So when JMU needs to get something accomplished, put it in the hands of number 40. Now Diouf matched up with Rustoven and knocks that shot away. Davis charging up the court, and he pushed the man out of the way. Are they going to call it against Britt or Davis? It's going to be against Britt.
You saw A.J. Davis's eyes just light up when he got that ball and saw that there was no one in front of him. He just changed gears and was able to draw the foul.
And they're going to say it is a shooting foul, so A.J. Davis will have free throws when we come back. Marcus Thornton, some circus work. Kyle Gaylord has been on mark. And Brandon Britt with 17. It's William and Mary in the lead. It has been the battle we expected between these two longtime rivals. In the 85th meeting between James Madison and William and Mary, we have got a 4-point basketball game with 11:56 to go in the second half. Al Koken, Ron Thompson, Brent Harris with you in Richmond, Virginia. A 17-point performance by that man, Devon Moore. But what's most impressed me, Ron Thompson, is what you see in terms of his overall basketball acumen, the way he distributes the basketball. He's got 6 points. He's JMU's all-time assist leader at 479 now, and you just ask for Devon Moore to do what he wants, and he'll get it done for you.
Well, his DNA is all over this game, Al. You know, he scored the ball, he's distributed the ball, he's gotten a few rebounds, he's entered JMU into their offense, and every time you see JMU start to wilt a little bit, he gives them their life and brings them back to form. So he's done an excellent job, and I think coming down the stretch, I think he's got to get his ball club to hone in defensively. And a lot of teams say that we got to play D, we got to play D. But JMU has to look around and see where the bodies are and not just all 5 guys stare at the ball.
Well, it's been JMU's defense, as I mentioned, that's turned this season around. They allow just 60.8 points a game in league games, which has been the best in the CAA. But they're going against an offensive juggernaut in William and Mary, the way Britt, Thornton, and Rustoven have performed so far this evening.
Britt, Thornton, and Rustover sounds like a law firm, Al. and they've been as efficient as a good law firm tonight.
Yeah, I'd like to hire these guys the way they have performed. However, they turn it over here with 11:31 to go. Remember, Andre Nation is the one player in deep foul trouble. He's got 4 sitting on Matt Brady's bench. Right now, the foul situation, 5 team fouls on William and Mary, 4 on JMU.
Now, what can't be understated is this time of year. Regardless of what your record is, regardless of how poorly you may have done during the regular season, come tournament time, your record is 0-0. You're starting all over again.
And Tim Embersole underneath has spotted another foul as a push again underneath by William and Mary. And that's going to be against Tim Rustoven, his 3rd. So Tony Shaver now is going to have to keep an eye and maybe pull his big men. They're going to bring Tarpey out and bring Gaylord back. So Rustoven stays with his 3 personals.
William and Mary switched to their matchup zone. They're guarding areas, following cutters through just to try to throw JMU off a little bit. You see they're bumping the ball off as they go, and right now JMU looks a little confused. They don't know if they should run their man offense or their zone offense. Something
Tony Shaver told our Brent Harris when we talked with him at the half, that they may do a little more zone look in this second half. And right there, they get an offensive foul called against A.J. Davis.
Now look for them the very next possession to come back and get back in that matchup zone. Take a look here. You're going to see the push off. Nice one-on-one move. He crosses over, tries to get there, but you see the push right there. Credit Brandon Britt also for selling it just a bit.
So A.J. Davis has picked up his 3rd personal after an explosive first half. That big-time score has been quiet here for JMU as they're down 3. Plenty of time for him to explode, however. Davis almost got another call against him as he pushed Matt Rum. But the hands of Davis helped knock that away, and it's going to go out of bounds. 21 seconds to work for William and Mary.
And right now, the second half of the shot clock is where JMU has to do a better job. They have to lock in and focus mentally.
We're going to get a timeout by Tony Shaver as the Duke pressure forced him to get that timeout and settle this inbounds play.
Not a bad timeout that time, I thought, by William & Mary. Sometimes, you know, coaches don't want you to blow a timeout early, but we're getting to the second half of the second half, and you want to be efficient, so you don't want to have empty possessions.
And it's a good time to remind everybody that if you'd like to catch the action of the 2013 CAA Women's Basketball Championship, also presented by Janny King, it'll take place next week, March 14th through the 17th, at the Showplace Arena in Upper Marlboro, Maryland. Log on to CAAsports.com for more details. I'm looking very forward to being there. Comcast Sportsnet will have the semifinals for you on Saturday and the finals for you on Sunday. And my terrific partner, Jody Lavin-Patrick, will be alongside. Can't wait to work again with her. And it's going to be another interesting tournament with nationally ranked Delaware in the crosshairs of teams like Drexel, Northeastern, and James Madison. Thornton with 3 to shoot, finds Rusthoven, and there's Tim Rusthoven on a great pass from Marcus Thornton.
There's been about 5 possessions where the shot clock has gotten under 5, and William & Mary doesn't panic. They don't panic. They stay within the course of what they're trying to do, and they seem to get a shot each and every time.
As Diouf goes in traffic, batted up in the air by Cook. Ron, how many times do you see when the shot clock's down to 2, the best you can get is about a 40-footer?
Exactly.
This is a layup for Tim Rusthoven, which is the offense you want.
And that's something you have to work on. That's not an accident. You, as a coach, you say stay within your offense. You're not going to break the play off and run a high ball screen. You'll get a shot late, and your team just has to have that patience.
And the third personal foul on Devon Moore has just been flagged as he's called for blocking and pleads his case to official Sean Cassidy. The attack by Marcus Thornton will get him to the line for free throws. And you love a guy like Marcus Thornton and the work ethic. We see the talent, but when I've done William & Mary games, and we did it again last Saturday, and our crew did a great job of capturing it, it was a 6 o'clock tip-off. We're standing there talking with producer Kevin Santos and director John Niehaus, and who comes out on the basketball floor without anybody else out there 2 hours before the game to fire up shots but Marcus Thornton.
Well, it's no wonder he's had the success that he's had at such an early stage in his career. He's only a sophomore, and and that work ethic, it goes through to the summers also. He's out of the D.C. area. You see him in all the gyms. You see him in all the summer leagues, and he's putting in the work. And you love to see a guy get rewarded for his hard work that he puts in.
So we've crossed the halfway mark of this second half. Both teams with 6 team fouls. Andre Nation with his 4 personals in, and there's Rayshawn Goins, who's also come in and gets a shot and another one.
Rayshawn Goins that time was in the right place at the right time and just got that ball off the glass and exploded through the contact and was able to finish. You see here, Nation rises up, and Goins just happened to be at the right place at the right time, but takes the contact and finishes anyway.
Ron, I'll say it again, that man at the foul line could be the difference in this ball game. If he could get back to being the player he was for, well into 7/8 of this season. Britt, and now it's blocked on the way up. Nation gambling there with his 4 personals, but a big block. A.J. Davis hard off the glass. Got his miss, works inside and scores.
Great time that time, great effort that time by Davis and staying with the play, not giving up on it.
18 points for A.J. Davis, and Ron Curry a little too aggressive on the defensive end.
Take a look at A.J. Davis here. He takes the shot, doesn't give up on it, fouls it. Usually the shooter knows more than anyone where the ball's going to come off, and he fouls it and gets the putback.
I love that extra little move that A.J. Davis put in once he got Gaylord on the hip. Didn't just take him straight up, turned him, and got a much better look.
Scorers know how to put that ball in the basket now. Doesn't matter how it comes. It could be a jump shot. It could be a layup. You just want the 2 points.
And Brandon Britt with a rare miss on the front end of the 1-and-1. As the 7th team foul was flagged to JMU. Giving a bonus situation to William & Mary. They normally make you pay for those, but not there. Brent Harris has got more out of the timeout. Brent?
A.J. Davis now with a game-high 18 points. Tony Shaver said this week, boy, Davis must love seeing those green uniforms of the Tribe. We got to know where he is at all times on the court. He's starting to come alive here again in the second half. He's been fantastic against James Madison this year, against William & Mary this year. 63 points in their 2 wins.
shooting 61.5% from behind the arc, and there creates a steal. The kick out. Goins attacking on the offensive boards and scores.
Goins is making this push right here in the second half out. And it's just been subtle. It's been little things. It's been offensive rebounds, and they've needed someone else to come along on the interior.
Can he be the difference maker to get James Madison University into the semifinals, where they will meet the Blue Hens of Delaware? Gaylord kicks it in, and Davis anticipated and then throws it off Rusthoven to keep the basketball for JMU. So A.J. Davis with a great defensive play. He's gotten some help, though, off the JMU bench as Rayshawn Goins has started to come alive. It's a great game, tied at 56. We'll be right back. Loving the excitement here in Richmond, Virginia, the end of our triple header, but we've still got a lot left. 56 all between William & Mary and JMU, 7:42 to go. The Dukes are on a 7-0 run, and A.J. Davis, who ended the regular season as the co-player of the week in the CAA, has continued his unbelievable play down the stretch.
When you look at it, Al, he's 7 for 11. So he's been efficient today. It's not like he's a guy out there that's just jacking up shots. He's been more than efficient tonight. And I like the fact that JMU, they're riding his wave. They're finding him in transition. They're finding him in the half-court sets.
And they're getting a lot of help from redshirt senior Rayshawn Goins, who's got the basketball here. He's starting to feel it. Couldn't get that to drop. Battles to keep it alive, and they do. Moore for three. Again, another chance as Andre Nation battles. And we're waiting for the official call. Actually, they're going to get a foul here against William & Mary. It's going to be against Kyle Gaylord, number 23. And Gaylord picks up his 4th personal foul.
Good effort, good energy both ways. You see guys diving, flying all over the place, and you can tell that it's tournament time. Both teams know it. Both teams know that it's win or go home, and neither team wants to be home this time tomorrow. They want to suit up and live to play another day.
Look at Goins there, offensive glass again, and here he comes back to the free throw line.
See, that's the thing. Goins has been struggling in the month of February and early March, but he was their leading scorer a majority of the season. He was their go-to guy, so you know he has it in his tank. And right here, you see he's fighting on the offensive boards. Rusthoven relaxed a little bit, and Goins just took advantage of it.
He's been a double-figure scorer 21 times this season, which is why those numbers of 6, 6, and 2 in his last 3 games were so odd. But he's gotten Some of the big men now into foul trouble as Heldring must come in as Rusthoven picks up his 4th personal foul with 7:18 to go.
And Rashawn has done that all season. He's an undersized post guy, and instead of that being a negative, he's used it to his advantage. He's an angles guy, gives you a lot of head fakes, and has gotten a lot of post guys this season in foul trouble trying to defend him.
Missed all of last year with shoulder surgery. And they throw it right into the hands. Davis picking that off, and then Matt Rum read that play and turns the favor on A.J. Davis.
A.J. Davis says, I try to pass and I turn it over. Next time I'm going to just keep it.
Boy, he made a beautiful read, knew what Thornton was going to do, and then Matt Rum said, well, I'll figure out what you're going to do, A.J. And Goins got the hands in to break that up off of Thornton. Devon Moore is fouled from behind by Brandon Britt before the shot.
Whoa, JMU, they got away with one. That last possession, Marcus Thornton definitely got fouled on that jump shot.
Well, they're going to get him on the shot then.
Take a look at it right there. Rashawn Goins got him on the wrist. He didn't get any of the ball, and they go down the other way. And sometimes you don't get every call. You just got to play through it.
So he'll get to the line, even though it wasn't a shooting foul. It's the 10th team foul on William and Mary. A rare miss from the closer, Devon Moore. Keeps it a 1-point game.
The closer, I like that, Adam. I like that for Devon.
Well,
quite accurate.
He scores twice as many points as any of his teammates in the final 5 minutes of games. He knows what to do with the basketball as he drops that one home for his. He's now 7 of 16 from the free throw line. And that run continues for JMU as Davis with another reach in almost got yet another steal.
This time of game out, scouting report is key. Which guys are your primary scorers? Which guys are your best passers? Which guys defensively can you help off of?
2 to shoot. Thornton in the air and finally gets it to drop. That is a circus shot supreme from Marcus Thornton.
Absolutely nothing you can do with that. I mean, that was perfect defense. He jumped in the air and he just released it right before he touched the court.
And he can sky, so it'd take a little while for him to get down as well. Moore, no, but a putback, yes. It's now 20 points for Devon Moore. And Bill Covington Jr. is going to flag Heldring. So Fred Heldring picks up the personal foul. And we've got 3 on Tony Shaver's other big man, Fred Heldring. Rusthoven sits on the bench with 4. Heldring now has picked up his 3rd. So some decisions to make on the William and Mary side. We see Tony Shaver talking to his assistants as they discuss some strategy. And there is a timeout on the floor.
The officials are going over, taking a look at something. I don't know if they thought there was contact above the shoulder. If it was, that's an automatic technical foul, and then they have to determine whether it was an intentional hit above the shoulder, and then it's going to be a flagrant 1 or a flagrant 2.
So 2 of our officials, Sean Cassidy and Bill Covington Jr., taking a look as we give you another chance. Actually, this is the other end. This is where Devon Moore got that putback. Then at the other end is where the foul came.
Yeah, it was off the ball. Can't see it from that angle, but the officials, that's what they're taking a look at. What, 1, was the player hit above the shoulder? And then 2, was it an intentional hit above the shoulder? Take a look off the ball at the bottom of your screen. You're going to see. No, that's not the right play.
Yeah, this is the play before that came with JMU playing offense. Now this is with JMU here playing defense.
Right
and
there.
There's the elbow by Heldring that's spotted by Bill Covington Jr. And There's the determination as you're talking about. Above the shoulder, what do we have? Common foul, apparently, by Sean Cody. So
okay, Bill Covington came over and just let us know it's a common foul. They didn't call, any intentional contact above the head. Just keep playing.
So we appreciate this officiating crew getting it right with so much on the line, as we have now 5:30 and less to play. Goins attacking on Heldring, too strong. Davis with a monster follow. A.J. Davis has been a sensation again. He's got 20. And Devon Moore says, I got it, settle it down. Rustoven with his 4 personals about to come back in.
William & Mary right now has 10 fouls. So now every foul that they make in the half court, JMU shooting 2 free throws. So right now they can be efficient. Just JMU, they should be strong with the ball and look to attack.
JMU with 7 team fouls. Moore working on Thornton, and the putback by Andre Nation. JMU has been attacking the offensive glass in this half, and that's why they've carved out a 6-point lead.
It's been a little reversal of roles. Early on, JMU, they were having 5 guys stare at the ball and not see the other defenders. Now, William & Mary, they're doing the same thing. The shot's going up. They're not turning and touching, and JMU's just having guys fly to the basket to get tip-ins.
But we have seen some high-wire offensive board work. Look at Goins on the miss, but here is Davis with authority.
Coming out of nowhere that time. You've got to put a body on him. You see he gets a full steam ahead run in, and he just comes up and just gets a strong, strong follow-through.
And here's Andre Nation, the freshman, with a more traditional putback, athletic as well.
The good thing for William & Mary, you have Brandon Britton, you have Marcus Thornton. You can afford to go a little quick in the clock. You don't have to wait, make 5 or 6 passes in your half-court offense. You have 2 guys that can go get you points. But right now, William & Mary may have to start thinking about, if they can't score, picking up full court and starting to press just a little bit, and that's not their normal way of wanting to play.
Great look at an important number of second chance points. It's really favored the Dukes as this game has worn on. They're on a 15-2 run right now. What will William & Mary do to counter it? It's in the hands of the man they want it to be in, Marcus Thornton, who finds Matt Rum back of the iron on his 3.
Good job by Moore. Didn't push it, got the rebounds, let's settle it down, let's work the clock.
Under 4 to play. Moore looking for a screen. Goins gave him a little bit of breathing room, but Thornton right back on him. Now on the pick and roll. He finds Goins, who scores.
Credit Matt Brady for going back to Rashawn Goins. He's been struggling, but he kept having him screen, rescreen, and that play was designed to get Rashawn Goins on the roll.
Matt Rum upset that there wasn't a call. There were some words exchanged, but no further action. Well, JMU making their move. 17-2 run. Tony Shaver has seen the Dukes lead get up to 8. Thanks to some great second half inside work from the big man, Rashawn Goins. As expected, quite the battle. Our game summary will show you Devon Moore of JMU, 20 points and 7 assists. Marcus Thornton keeping the tribe right there. He's had an 18-point night. The three-point shooting, Ron Thompson, has been a factor for both clubs this evening. That was a Brandon Britt three. So A.J. Davis and company holding the lead by 8. And that is what Marcus Thornton can do for you.
I mean, the thing that makes him so tough to guard is that possession. Devon Moore played solid defense. He just pulled up for a deep shot. You know, he was contested and the ball just went in. Guys like Thornton, you have to not let him get his hands on the ball.
Goins trying to work against Rustover with the 4 personals. He kicks it back out to Devon Moore. Moore wanted Goins to come out and set a screen for him. Now he'll get his cousin to do it.
I'd love to see them go back to Rashawn Goins on a pick and roll and get that big body near that basket because he's going to come up with a foul.
Davis a little off balance on that one. Chased down. Cook tries to save it. And into the hands of Rum. Oh, what a lucky break. Rustoven couldn't catch it, but who was right there? Kyle Gaylord to finish.
Sometimes you need a little bit of luck, Al. This possession, I really think JMU needs to go back on the inside. Run a little roll in replace, a little high ball screen, and look to get the ball to Rashawn Goins on the block because you have to foul him if he gets the ball close to the basket because he's too big and too wide.
Andre Nation trying to turn the corner, lost it, got it back, and finishes. This is what you're talking about, how this kid could be something special at JMU next year.
No question. He's going to grow by leaps and bounds his second season, and I think the officials just gave him
a technical foul. We're trying to figure out exactly why. Matt Brady has a look on his face. Andre Nation pleading his case to his assistant.
After he hit the shot, he screamed a little bit, and I think the officials thought that was taunting.
Hey, it's tournament time, right?
Well, you got to let a little bit of this go. Let's see. Let's take a look at it.
And I guess that means that he had 4 personals coming in, and that technical will be his 5th, so he's done.
Yep, he's given him a foul for taunting, and you know, some of that I love to see officials just let go. I mean,
Wow.
you know, this is basketball. You know, you're not playing golf, you're not playing tennis. You got to let some of this stuff go. I understand you want to keep the game in control.
Yeah.
You don't want the guys to fight, but we're nowhere near that.
Ron, I always kind of consider that if you get in somebody's face, I'll buy that as taunting.
Right.
If you just show a little emotion for making a hell of a play, I'm not so sure I buy that as a technical foul worthy.
Exactly.
But you see Matt Brady putting his head there and patting him on the back. How about a word from you, Brent Harris? How'd you see this?
Al, it goes back a couple of plays. Those players were warned, and right after that play, Nation turned after scoring and went back toward Rum, and that's what the referee saw, was right in front of the referee. He had to make the call because he had already warned the players that that kind of stuff wasn't going to go on. And so it just happened a few plays later, and they were looking for it, guys.
All right, great, Brent. Thank you so much. That's why we're so happy to have Brent Harris giving us an extra pair of eyes on the baseline in the huddles. And so we get a little more insight into why that was so quickly flagged on Andre Nation, who is done for the game, as we have 2 minutes left to go, and William and Mary has made their move to get it to 3. Britt on the attack. No. Curry got good position, and fellow freshman Cook gathers it up.
I really think this small lineup, with the exception of Rashawn Goins, has really gone in the favor of JMU defensively. William and Mary's offense, they spread you around. There's a lot of body movements. There are a lot of cutting, and they can switch all of those cuts, which has done a great job for JMU in terms of staying in front of the ball.
The shot clock now has gone under 10. It's in the hands of Moore. Backing in on Thornton, who got in the air. One more pass and a finish from Goins. That is Devon Moore at his best.
Excellent head and shoulder fake that time by Moore. Marcus Thornton bid on the fake. He got in there and delivered a sweet pass.
Now Thornton's got it, working against A.J. Davis. And he'll finish. How about this kid? No quit in Marcus Thornton. A three-point game with 40 seconds to go. Matt Brady or Tony Shaver not electing to take a timeout. Some hand signals from Devon Moore to tell his players what he wants.
I like this call.
The lob to Goins, and Britt comes over to knock it out of bounds. JMU will have it with 6 to shoot and 17.2 left in regulation.
I like the idea, though. It was a little ball screen trying to get Rashawn Goins on the slip going to the basket. Poorly executed pass, but love the idea.
A 30-second timeout from Matt Brady as he and his crew with Mike Dean there trying to figure out what they'll do offensively. So we'll let them sort it out, and we will step aside, bring you back for the final moments of a thriller here in Richmond right after this. A three-point JMU lead, 17.2 seconds remaining, but they've got 6 on the shot clock. Brett Harris, what was Matt Brady talking about in the huddle?
Well, first and foremost, he said if they miss, and then William & Mary gets the basketball and crosses midcourt, he wants them to foul, because with 8 fouls, it would be a 1-and-1. He wants to avoid that three-point shot and the possible tie.
Brent, thanks so much. That was a 1-second runoff as the ball was knocked out of bounds by William & Mary. So Matt Brady and company now with 5 to shoot. Devon Moore to pull the trigger, and he's got to take another timeout. So right now, JMU down to 1 timeout. William & Mary also has 1 timeout to work with. The possession arrow, Ron, very important. It belongs to William & Mary.
Now, what happens now is the coaches are giving instructions in the huddles. Now, there's a thing called game slippage. When they're leaving the huddle, assistant coaches and players alike has to make sure that the 5 guys that are on the floor clearly understand whatever the coaches are telling them. When you leave the huddle, remember to tell them, if they're supposed to foul when the ball crosses the half-court line, don't forget, foul on the dribble, not an intentional foul. We're in the double bonus. They're not in the double bonus. All the little things that you're instructions that you're receiving right now, you have to clearly make sure that the guys understand what you're saying, because they're in the huddle, they're shaking their head, yes, coach, yes, coach, yes, coach. You have to make sure that they know what's going on.
Of course, semifinal action comes your way tomorrow on the NBC Sports Network. My partner, Ron Thompson, will be joined by Todd Harris for all the action. And out of bounds as Devon Moore kind of lifted his head up and got it in on the sideline. So turnover, JMU, and now we'll see where the foul will come.
Exactly. They're probably not going to go right away. As you see, a little careless. You got to go after that ball with 2 hands if you're Devon Moore. They're probably not going to look to foul right away, but if they get in trouble, make an aggressive play for the ball, so they're taking 2 shot attempts.
They don't want to foul Thornton. He's open for 3 and misses. And here's Ron Curry with a big-time rebound. Devon Moore passed up the opportunity to foul Thornton, and Thornton was wide open where he wants it and couldn't hit the 3.
Couldn't have gotten a better look, and Devon Moore right now is talking to A.J. Davis. I think they were supposed to switch those ball screens, and when he got hit with the screen, no one was there for the switch. Marcus Thornton couldn't have gotten a better look. He had a wide open, clear look.
Ron, while we got the opportunity, want to thank our friend Mike Tuberosa of the Drexel University Athletic Department, their outstanding SID, helping us with stats tonight. And all season long, we can't thank the men and women who work with us on our Comcast Sportsnet crew. And for the people at the Colonial Athletic Association, we love our relationship with them. Commissioner Tom Yeager, Associate Commissioner Ron Berdovich, and all the help we get all year long from Rob Washburn, Pete Hawk, Katie Lowe, and so many others. We want to thank them and know that you and Todd will be in good hands tomorrow and on the finals as well.
No, we'll be in more than good hands. But, you know, we've seen some excellent basketball. Three solid ball games today. It's a shame that this time of year somebody has to go home.
2 big free throws by the freshman Ron Curry. Now more than a 2-possession game. Thornton, no, and into the hands of Curry, and JMU moves on to the semifinals where they will take on Delaware. Matt Brady and the 3rd seed in the tournament, JMU, advances with the final here of 72-67.
It looked early on, Al, that William & Mary was going to have the advantage. JMU, they stayed the course, they stayed focused, they got after it defensively in the second half, got some stops, and more importantly, I think Devon Moore controlled this entire ball game for JMU.
Well, tonight's CAA basketball coverage here on Comcast Sportsnet has been brought to you by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. And by Channy King, the king of clean. Well, that'll do it for us here in Richmond, Virginia. For my partners Ron Thompson and Brent Harris, I'm Al Koken saying good evening from the Richmond Coliseum. The final score of our last quarterfinal game, James Madison 72, William & Mary 67. And we thank you for watching CAA basketball on Comcast Sportsnet, part of the NBC Sports Group. The Dukes move on to semifinals tomorrow on the NBC Sports Network.